The world is, well, we're living in a world that's much more globalised. Information and ideas and knowledge moving at the sort of speed of a click. Very different world to 10 or 20 years ago. 2008, very big benchmark in the sort of global development in the sense of the banking crisis, you know, almost a meltdown in particularly Western economies. And that led in a range of different fora to a rethinking of current economic development models. So we see the emergence of high-level reports from the OECD, the World Economic Forum, United Nations Environment Programme around green economy and green growth. And what we've seen percolate over the last 7 or so years is now those, that terminology is starting to come down into government job titles, into various funding programs, for example. So the question of economic development in a different form. And we've even seen countries really embracing this. So Korea launched and set up a green growth law in 1999. We've seen cities embracing greener growth and economy ideas. So Copenhagen, which is the green capital of Europe last year. We've seen the emergence of the transition town movement, again similarly founded around 2008. So this is towns re-envisioning themselves in terms of low carbon, resilient futures. So there's 1,000 plus of these in the world now, and there's one, for example, in Farnham. Highlighting of the global challenges around climate change. And it's still, in that sense, relatively new phenomenon. I was at the Earth Summit in Rio in 1992, wasn't an issue then. So it's the sort of momentum around the agenda has increased, and now the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the world's top scientists have affirmed, that climate change is happening. The debate is still, is that man-made or is it a natural process? And we've still, this is still the sort of sticking point in a sense. But we're also seeing the agenda shift towards discussions over, if climate change is happening, how we adapt to that climate change. So this idea of becoming much more resilient. So particularly in coastal areas, in various places around the world, we're seeing these, tsunamis, etc., etc. Now, are we getting an increasing frequency of these catastrophic weather incidents, or is it part of a natural pattern? We have air pollution is a major problem in many places around the world, particularly, I've been to Beijing about 10 times, I've seen the sky about once or twice. We were doing an electronics project in India, and I had to go to the Delhi airport early in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning, and the air was almost yellow with the emissions that were being let out from the factories at that time in the morning. Water is going to be a major growing issue, both for human consumption, but also related to certain, to products, food, even electronics, semiconductors. You need good quality water to produce, that. If you don't have that quality of water because of other, climate change related issues, you can't make those products. And so what we're seeing is a number of companies starting to re-engineer their products to reduce the embedded water in their food products, for example. But perhaps the most significant issue, since around 2008, 2009, 2010, is this growing issue around how we use materials. This idea of resource efficiency and moving away from the incredibly efficient economy we have that is based around take, make, and waste. We're very good at producing waste. So we've seen a re-emergence of discussions around the circular economy. And we're seeing even new models emerging from various sources talking about how we design products for the biological cycle or how we design products for the technical cycle. And you also have some companies starting to open source IP, patents, Nike and a number of others have open sourced various patents around greener textiles materials, for example. So it's, again, it's opening up, opening things up. We have new tools. So information, connection, new tools, open source designs, new tools, 3D printing, prices going right down. The next 10 years, things will be a lot faster, there'll be more flexibility. And a lot more power being given to the individual to design and make, things. So the idea linked to crowdsourcing of ideas and crowdfunding. You can put up an idea for a product online and you can raise money. You don't need to go to the banks. And there are many examples increasing number of examples of this happening. We have other new forms of collaborations happening that weren't happening, 10 years ago. Jams and hackathons. In the context of sustainability, we have a global sustainability jam that happens in about 80 to 100 countries every November around the world. Products that are designed for death. So we can design products to be dismantleable, but many products are designed for very short life cycles, and people are starting to get pissed off about this globally. So are we at a point of transformational transition, or revolution or evolution? You've got all these trends going on, and there's a small gap between revolution and evolution. That little R, so can be a small turning point. Just a certain thing can shift things in a different direction. So it may be a point of change. And is that change going to come top down from government, from big business, or is it going to come from civil society? Emergence behind this of the maker movement, but we believe it's not just making, it's modifying and repairing. And so we're seeing making and modification and repair happening. Emergence of new terminologies, fixperts, people want to repair products. New business models emerging. Freitag bag, so this is a classic, making bags out of a waste product, so out of tarpaulins. Very successful product, essentially from waste product in the Museum of Modern Art. And there's another one, IKEA hacks. So basically, there's a whole bunch of people who are essentially hacking IKEA products, making a new product out of an IKEA product. Repair cafes, also new places and spaces around the world. Essentially, people are coming together to bring broken products to get repaired. 700 of these in the world. We've done some primary research, and Scott will touch on it in a bit more detail. We've put our money where our mouth is, and we've launched a repair cafe in Farnham. So one is the 19th in the UK, and we're getting a lot of really interesting experience from this. People are, working closely with the repairers and also co-developing, co-repairing even a new word. The repairers and the product owners working together to solve a problem. So basically, in summary, it's probably one of the most interesting times we're facing. You may not know it, to actually start to re-envision what a more sustainable world might look like. And you have much more tools to start to create some of those products than us at your same age. So make use of the time. So thank you very much.